Happy Friday, everybody! It's October 25th, 2024. And, yep, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So, a little bit late putting things out today. I'm trying to get stuff out and uploaded before 8 a.m., but hey. Kind of overslept a little bit, or actually slept till a normal hour today. Please remember, legality's sake, I am a clairvoyant, clairaudient, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. I do go through different news media sites in the mornings, and sometimes I'll start at like 1 or 2 a.m. going through. And these are my psychic opinions and thoughts of what's happening and my interpretation. So please do your own research, form your own opinions. If you like what I have to say, click the red boots down in the corner. Yeah, I do have you can become a member of the channel, and with that, you're basically prepaying for your readings in advance, your private readings in advance, in smaller increments. So take that into consideration. In the box, we also have the, if you want to buy me a coffee or cream soda, that's very welcome. So, and no, this channel is not a Megza channel. I focus more on my psychic thoughts on what's happening worldwide. If I do get a specific question pertaining to certain people, yes, I will answer it, but no, that is not my primary focus. There are way too many other people relaying all sorts of stuff. So if you want that stuff, go elsewhere. I mean, I'll only on when people like ask me on Sundays when I do my live chat. If people have questions about certain people, then okay, I'll answer them then. But I'm going to try to avoid the dastardly duo as much as possible. Now, we're in the final countdown. We've got how many more days left to go? 11 more days till Guy Fawkes Day. And while some stuff is taking over the mainstream media, there are things happening elsewhere. Like, okay, a few days ago I mentioned how the Big Red Sea is playing war games in the straits, that water area between mainland Big Red Sea and Taiwan. And they're doing all sorts of war games. Well, now Taiwan has gone on the offense and has started doing the same thing and showing them, hey, don't mess with us. Taiwan is going to get the support because don't forget that there are a lot of U.S. military bases scattered about in Southeast Asia, the island nations. I mean, we still have a big base on like Okinawa and Guam and Manila. And don't forget, there's American Samoa there. And right now we've got KC3 having his Commonwealth Conference in British Samoa. But they do have a representative from American Samoa there with private chats with KC3. And what's ironic is that a lot of these nimrods, idiots, who basically don't know their history, they're asking Chucky for something that his, how many great-grandmothers ago? Great-grandfathers? Yeah, I mean, Victoria's hubby, Albert, did put out a formal apology on behalf of the monarchy. And England is the only country that has actually paid reparations. It's just these fools. It was paid to their ancestors. They're seeing nothing, so they're jealous, so they're having temper tantrums now. So I'm a firm believer. Why should people who had nothing to do with it being paid, paying off, giving money to people who, hey, if you don't like that, go find, you're welcome to leave the channel. Goodbye. Hey, I can honestly, hey, I have people on my father's side who's been here forever, for a couple, almost 2 centuries now. They fought on my, great-grandfather's grandfather served in a regiment out of Iowa, which was a free state. My mom's side didn't come to the United States until after 1960, 1860. They came after. And they came from Eastern Europe. So sorry, dudes. Don't look at me. I have my own opinions. If you don't like it, bye. But something that is, it's very ironic. You can tell the lack of education in the current younger generations, because go back and watch the first or second season of the TV show Victoria, and they did a whole episode on how they handled the issue, and with Albert doing the giving a speech, the apology speech. So maybe you should start watching a little bit more TV. Now, something else that's been going, that has hit the news, and it's real quiet. Okay, we've seen how the Netherlands, the Dutch have said basically F you to the EU and the left-wing ideology, and so they have more of a right-wing people in charge. And now that they've got the people in charge, one of the things they've started to do is call out on all the shit about the C-19 garbage. And now there is a massive court case that's being brought up against everyone who pushed for the whatchamacallit. And one of the big names that's being indicted is Billy Gates. Now, hey, from what I'm saying, hey, if I go dark for a few days, it means I have to go buy myself a computer that works off of the Steve Jobs platform. Yeah. Billy Boy is being called out on the carpet for the bullshit propaganda that his charities and his worshippers are trying to cram down everybody's throat. And Billy Gates is the type of guy that he may start singing like a canary. And it's not going to look pretty. He's going to try to wheel and deal his way out of it. And he may say, when they say there's going to be so many days of darkness, he may say, hey, my company is going to shut down everybody's internet, everybody's computers. So, yeah, I'm going to be out and about today. I'm going to price out what an Apple would be, like an Apple MacBook, just to have my ass covered. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, a lot of the crap that's going on in the Middle East, it's now been put out public knowledge that the IDF has while going into Lebanon, they have found some caches of military supplies that were supposed to be used by the tentacle, the Islamic Republic of Iran's tentacle called Hezbollah. And everything has the Iranian stamp on it. Now, where did Iran get all this shit? Now, we know that Israel has sent one of the couple of the top dudes out of Mossad down to Qatar to do some talking. Now, at the same time, we've got asshole Blinken stirring up shit. And yeah, Blinken is making false promises saying, hey, make sure you have all your people vote for Cammy Poop so we can help Israel. In reality, Blinken is double talking. And he's saying to the Islamic Republic idiots that, hey, make sure that all the guys that you sent here to the United States, make sure they vote for us. There's going to be a lot of illegal people trying to get into the polling places. And be careful, because a lot of them are members of the various groups under the Islamic Republic military. We already know that some of their dudes, one got busted a while back because he had slipped up and mentioned his plan for what he was going to do on Guy Fawkes Day here in the U.S. But there's more to come. Yeah, it's the donkeys are using every which way possible. They're pulling out the even the every which way to scare people into voting. They're targeting the blue Jews that are sitting on the fence by using the term Adolf, H, and comparing Donald to Adolf. No. They're the ones, the donkeys, are the fools that are supporting Iran's furthering the agenda of Adolf's ideology. Yeah, it's the hey, it's Barry Hussein Obama. His third term is bringing them in, and he laughs at the blue Jews because, hey, they give him the money and he stabs them in the back. But they're using that as a scare tactic. But remember, complacency. Blue Jews, your complacency only leads to a ticket into a boxcar. Yes, they're trying. We're having we're having the 20th century repeat itself. What was going on in Europe in 1924? Yeah, it was the rise of Adolf and Benito. And we all know how that turned out. And here the donkeys are trying to pull out all these celebrities, like that fat ass bitch Lizzo, who wants to turn the entire United States into an urban wasteland like Detroit. That other dude, Marshall Mathers, Eminem, whatever name he goes by today. Yeah, he made his fortune on talking about abuse towards women. Ironic that he's now supporting Cammy Poop, but Cammy Poop, she has done nothing for women. She's done more harm than good. But we've got right now, it's like even the EU is starting to panic, and they're sending people over to help the Cammy Poop agenda. Because the EU is panicking because they know that if they keep Barry in for a fourth term, they're going to be able to continue the crap and money laundering happening in the Ukraine. But the minute Donald gets back in, he's going to say F you to the Z guy and say, you're going to return the stolen territory back to Russia. Remember, many countries had their borders redrawn in 45, 46, 47. Donald wants the borders restored. People ask me, they go, oh, what part of Eastern Europe was your family from? Well, one branch, I'll say Russian, but on the current maps, it says Ukraine. Hey, blue Jews, remember, back in the 1930s and 40s, it was the Ukrainians who were more vicious than the Germans. So why are you continuing to vote for the people who hate you even more, who side with the radical Islamic idiots? A vote for Kamala, a vote for the Democrats is equal to a ticket into a boxcar, and they haven't woken up to it yet. Now, yeah, people are like, yeah, they've got all these celebrities. I mean, I do have one story. One guy, Bruce, okay, back in the 1970s, early 70s, yeah, we lived in the area of Jersey that was near Freehold. I had an older sister who was cute. Yeah. I remember her bringing around a guy, and my dad saying something, yelling at her, telling her, don't you dare bring that Democrat draft dodger back in this house again. Yeah, it was a dude from Freehold who thought he was going to make it big in the music industry. Yeah, my dad saw what he was and called him out on his shit back. I think this was like in 1971, 72. Yeah. Goes back a long time. He's always been Springsteen has always been a fucking idiot. And now it's like we got to support Mel Gibson because he's calling out the shit on all the Hollywood weird assholes. And anyone who doesn't align with their scary shit that they do is blackballed from the industry. I called out their shit. Hey, I'm blackballed. Mel Gibson called out their shit. He's blackballed. Those of us who've been ostracized and kicked out, hey, when when everything is exposed, they're going to be knocking on our doors because we're going to be the ones left standing. Now, the other thing that people are like having shit fits about, yeah, we know that the different media sources, I mean, if they're left-wing, they're totally trashing Donald and applauding and re-editing everything that Cammy Poop says. I mean, right now there's like people are still fighting for the unedited footage from that 60 Minutes interview. Right now, if you want to get a job, if you're an editor, you can go basically walk into any left-wing media source and they'll give you a job because everybody's resplicing all the footage of her to make it cohesive and look good because she's such a fucking idiot. Nothing but a puppet. And of course, the people who are standing up for the truth, we're getting bashed to hell and back. And like I keep saying, history is repeating itself. We've got Donald saying, people are like, how are you going to fix the economy? Well, go back and think for a minute. Think back to the 1880s, 1890s, America's Gilded Age. Okay, yeah, we see the TV show that, what's his face? Julian Fellows put together about, yeah, they call them the robber barons, but that was the start of, it was the middle management that was the troublemakers during the Gilded Age, where the alleged robber barons like Carnegie and so forth. I mean, there were some big strikes because the guys wanted a raise of a nickel. And the big boys, the head honchos, said go for it, but it was the middle management that was stopping the raises because it would look bad for the books. But the big guys knew you keep the workers happy, give them what they need, and everything works great. But middle management, which would be the Democrats, are the ones that screwed everything up. It was the Democrats that started income tax, not the actual original Republicans. I mean, so we've got to take lessons from history. I mean, we're politically and ideology, we're seeing the re-rise of 1920s, 30s Germany, the anti-Semitic, anti-Christian stuff. Remember, it wasn't just the Jews that Hitler's guys went after. They went after the Jehovah's Witnesses. They went after anybody who didn't think the same thing they did. And all you queers for Palestine, you'd be tossed in also with a purple triangle. You don't realize it. But yeah, what had America so solvent was tariffs. If stuff was being made and imported in, the companies selling it to America had to pay a shitload of money, pay tax on it. Yeah. That's how we can bring solvency, which means these companies that were forced by a big box store, you know, with the blue and yellow sign, Wally World. Yeah, in order to get a product placed in there, you have to open up a factory in the Big Red Sea, which uses slave labor. So you gotta think. We know inflation is bad, but you know what? We're gonna start having manufacturing and jobs back here in the U.S. We've got to do that. That's what we have to do. That's Donald's way. And if you go back in history, it works. Just like they're repeating history with all the other bullshit. And because we're coming up to, for some people, for some faiths, next week is New Year's. Yep, got my little hat on. And there's a bunch of what I call the pagans. Now, there's pagans, there's Wiccans, and then there's pagans. Yeah. A couple women who were very powerful. I mean, as a small child, I did meet Sybil Leek. My mother was a student of hers. And yeah, I was raised around all the kitchen witch stuff. Well, we've got a bunch of liberal idiot pagans. These are the ones that forget the creed. Do what you will, but cause no harm. And people forget that debauchery, I mean, stupid, drunken, polyamorous behavior is harm to one's body. These are the pagans that are going out and trying to cast spells on Donald, and they're all frustrated because none of them are working. Well, you know what, idiots? You pagans? What you're putting out, remember, it's going to come back to you threefold. So if you're putting out negative crap, it's going to come back and bite you on your ass. Just like people who have tried to do shit to me, it's going to come back threefold on you. I'm calling you out, but I'm not casting anything out. I'm just verbalizing to the universe what's happening. And I toss it up to the universe to enact karma when it's the right time. So we've got a lot of little piggins trying to cast spells on Donald when they don't realize that those who are white lighters, who work for the good, who follow the creed and try and do no harm, intentionally do not do any harm. I mean, every so often something does slip up and somebody does get hurt, but it wasn't intentional. Those that are white lighters have put such a protection bubble around a lifestyle in our country that these little itty piggins who don't know their butt from a hole in the ground, they're going batshit crazy. Yeah. Why don't you go talk to some of the old Bavanas, the old wise women in the Italian families, Greek families? Yeah, if you're in New England, there's some women that are hereditary from the original ones that were persecuted by the Puritans. And there's those that have come, you have the bloodlines that trace back all the way through Eastern Europe. Wise women who have survived, to manage to hide their abilities through the Spanish Inquisition. So, yeah, it's time for folks to wake up. Take a lesson from history. It's repeating itself. And they're using FDR's thing, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So the Democrats, Barry's new strategy is to scare the shit out of people, make them fearful of what Donald can do. No. People need to be afraid of what the Democrats will do and have been doing. That's what we need to watch out for and be aware. And yes, there's going to be a lot of energy starting tonight is the Shabbos. And then we go into Samhain, Halloween, and Day of the Dead for others. So right now, the veil between the world that people recognize and that see, and the stuff that people can't see, most people don't want to see, is very, very, it's becoming more and more transparent. And there will be a lot of things that people are going to have a hard time understanding, but are going to happen. So, yeah, we have to remember history. Don't allow certain things to repeat itself. No, today's Friday, so Sunday morning, 11 o'clock Chicago time, 5 p.m. London time. I'll be live. Have your questions ready. And yeah, Sunday the 27th, I'll be live chatting. And anyone who has questions or comments, I do put the link in the chat. You're welcome to come on, show your face, and make your comments. You don't have people who keep hiding behind their keyboards. What are you afraid of? Come on and show your faces, okay? Let your faces be seen. And yeah, we use the StreamYard platform, so go ahead, check it out, figure out how it works. So I'm hoping that some people do decide to show their faces. We've got a lot of lovely people who would love to participate. If you need to use a new identity because you've been picked on by idiots, do so. And yeah, especially this weekend. Yeah, I am getting a lot of people contacting me for quick questions. So this Sunday, yes, if you have questions um, that are of a personal nature, I will have to have you come in it so I can at least hear your voice during the chat. You can use an avatar. You don't have to show your face if you have a question about something personal, but we got to have you on. And if you're one of the keyboard warriors, it would be greatly appreciated for you to show your face. So I'm going to get going now. It's at a half an hour, and I hope people play this at double speed. So taking up 15 minutes of your day. Everybody, good Shabbos, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Sunday. Thank you. Bye-bye.